Okay.
Crafting and exploiting opportunity.
What? Were we supposed to be reading these?
There's crayons in mine.
There's crayons in
There's
this
crayon
one?
marks
Yeah,
in mine.
I have no idea what's
Oh,
going
shit.
on.
We're on a show.
Oh, all right. I thought this was
thought we were training in war fighting.
No.
chilling hour.
Yeah, this is some serious training.
Very serious. Very serious.
stuff. Hey, guys, what's going on? It's Thursday, and it's 7:15-ish, whatever.
Close enough.
Yeah, pretty close.
TFP time.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
enough, yeah.
I was literally shoving cookies, and never mind. So
Well, go on. You pulled that
cookies
thread. Yeah, you
shoving
pulled that
cookies
thread. Like,
I was shoving cookies into my face, and Ty's like, "I'm gonna go live," and I'm over here like, "No." That's how we started, in case you guys were wondering.
It's just a normal.
Just a regular
Normal
day.
day.
At the
Normal day
firing
over
pin. Yep. Okay,
What,
so
we have a lot to talk about tonight, but
Good.
I would like to entice everyone. I have a little bag of goodies here. Okay.
that's not an
and
API bag.
What's that? It's okay. It's not an API bag, but you could win. Not everything in this bag, because that's too much. But there is an amount of something in there.
Goodness.
Can we? What's? You ever seen one of these? You ever seen one of those?
Oh,
Little guys?
I've seen a couple of them.
We got little.
At least
we got
two.
little dudes. We got little right. There's an amount of little guys in here. Pat, why don't you give that a little? I mean, that's
Oh, I know that number.
some heft.
I know the exact.
I wanna hold.
Just by.
so I think you're gonna guess how many of these I can swallow.
Drop. Well, I mean, maybe for next stream.
Okay.
Between now and next stream, I'll give you
Swallow
all
as many as you
the
want
whole
once.
week. Drop in the comments how many you think are in this dump pouch. Don't call. Someone's calling.
Somebody's
Don't call.
calling us.
But drop in the comments how many you think, and you could win a prize. And it's going to be a mystery prize. Maybe it's something up on this table. Maybe it's the whole bag of ammo. I don't know.
All right.
I haven't had any beer yet. I don't know.
Sure.
We'll see. What are we doing here? Should we introduce ourselves and the sponsors and whatnot?
Well, yeah, we got to talk about business, but yes, definitely.
Oh.
Ooh, Patrick. Here.
Oh,
Here.
man.
You have mine. I'll go grab myself one.
Okay, thanks, Ty. Appreciate it.
Oh, man. Go, okay.
Somebody miscounted on the beers. Anyway, that's Ty going to grab himself a beer. I'm Pat. This is Brandon.
Hi.
You guys know he's in charge.
I've got the light, so you don't lose me.
Yeah, very good.
Is that distracting? Here, I'll go to just.
Not for me,
Steady.
but I'm looking over
Then,
this.
then it's not flashing.
We got our man Josiah back there producing the show for us. Thank you, Josiah. Looking good as always. And we have some sponsors to talk about.
Smart move. Smart
So,
move.
yeah.
He brought the whole thing of beer.
He doesn't want to have to walk back and forth a bunch. That's a
Hi.
that's a professional right there.
I'm Tyler.
Pro gamer.
That's
move.
Ty. All right, so business. We got to talk about our sponsors, right? We have Beyond Driven Fitness and Performance in Leroy, New York. Myself and Ty have been. You're spilling water all over me, Ty. We have been going there a couple times a week at this point for what 3-4 weeks now.
I think it's our 4th week.
Yeah.
tell.
So
I can tell.
yeah, Ty's looking good, right?
Yeah,
And,
my lady said I was looking a little more muscular. It felt good.
That's what it's all about, man. That's why we do it, right?
So I can
PT
look
makes
good.
me sexy.
Yes.
Exactly.
You were chanting that. I was dying on one of the bikes or something. You're just like, PT makes me sexy. And I'm like, I got it,
dying over
Pat.
here.
I got
And
it.
I'm like, come on,
Dying
Ty, you
of,
gotta like.
Dad embarrassment stuff, or just like dying.
Because he's working
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck out of me.
Just trying to keep him like going.
He just
It's fun.
I know how I look, and I can just see you look at me, and you're like, come on, bro. So like you got to chant at me.
Get it together.
Oh my gosh.
So Arms Preservation Inc. on that. I love that metal sign behind us.
That's super cool.
It's very
Yeah.
snazzy, and it looks great with the new lighting and stuff. So Arms Preservation Inc. for all of your storage needs of firearms, ammunition, really any valuables. I suppose they're patented.
Just anything you care about. you
Yeah,
know.
anything that's like valuable or has
Yeah.
sentimental value, whatever. They're potentially patented or patent pending or like proprietary, definitely proprietary VCI vapor corrosion inhibitor technology. Just makes that bag super convenient to use for all of your firearms needs. Just wipe it off. Mitch loves the term micro environment. So we want to keep the moisture right out of our micro environment. So
Yeah.
before we do any of our storage, want to make sure that we're moisture free and all that good stuff, and you can store whatever you got.
Right.
Firearms, optics, ammunition.
Pretty much
Whatever.
keep it from rusting, guaranteed, and it lasts what, like 5 years? That's what like they claim it lasts.
They
but
say
it's
5, but
gonna last way longer.
yeah, that's
than
what the
that. Like,
lawyers
it's-
say, right?
It's made
So-
for long term, yeah. And
For
we
sure.
still, they keep saying that we're gonna do it. We need to make that long term test happen. We got to.
I really just want to sit
We
here
talked.
Yeah.
I
Rip
talked
the
with Mitch,
Velcro.
so
Yeah. That's awesome.
once I get my new little action camera, I'm gonna make some content with that.
Ooh,
So
look at you.
I think we should just do an experiment where we just open and close that Velcro about.
They have machines
45
for that.
million ti-
I'm sure, right? They probably have machines
sure.
that
Let
just
Brian do it.
Yeah.
Cam.
Minimum wage.
Yeah, can't. All right.
Cam's the new Brian.
For sure. All right.
Cam's the new. Oh man.
Brian's been promoted.
Thank you again to our amazing sponsors. Go check them out.
We love you guys.
if
Thank you.
can. Yeah,
Really, though,
they-
like-
they truly are the light of our lives.
Speaking of light,
sure.
Speaking,
we'll
of
give them
light,
one more. Like they deserve a sponsorship.
Shout them out.
Lumos, House Media.
Lumos expectos. Sorry.
If you never did that again, I'd probably be okay. Lumos House Media. Nick came in last night and with Phil Casper. So Phil Casper Photography. Sorry, I had to think about it. Phil Casper Photography and Lumos House Media came out and hooked us up with all of these great lights. That's why we look
Cool.
better than ever
At least 40%.
and sound better than ever.
Do we? Has the did my foam help at all? Or are we still like Mussolini over here?
I don't know. At the table.
Okay, that's so hard. I'm very
It's better.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Good.
think the
it's
sound
better.
is going to be
Little-
better for
little-
sure.
Little deadened.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe two years a little more towards it.
Foam. Yeah.
I don't think you can say that. Less alive, little less alive.
There we go. There we go. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. Pat, you brought some goodies. We got a bunch of goodies up here.
Yep.
You can't really tell, like, the viewer, but the garage is super clean. There's not a lot of crap everywhere at all. There's not, like, pallets stacked up right next to Josiah over there, like, literally about to collapse on him, full of stuff. But no, yeah, we got stuff.
I love it.
Oh, you
love
want
it.
to talk about those hats?
My hats?
The hats.
Yeah.
The nice hats.
The coolest I know what you meant.
Oh, okay.
These took forever to come in. I designed a few hats. You know, working with a new company is kind of scary. So just going out on a limb and making stuff, having it shipped in, you don't know how all that's going to work. We used to use a local company, Gorilla Tea in Rochester. We're still going to use them because they have different prints and different styles that we can use. But I tried a new company for new hats, and we're on this camera.
That's a cool one. I like
This
that.
is the Hawaiian one. This is actually like my new favorite. I'm not even wearing it. Embarrassing. I was wearing it earlier. I switched it out. This is like my new favorite. So cool Hawaiian. There's actually only 2 of these left. They went by quick. I ordered 12 of each hat, and there's 2 left. And they came in Monday.
It's called drip,
Pretty drippy.
I think.
Fa-
Right?
faucet failure.
I bought 2 of the Hawaiians as soon as they came in.
Got another camo. Another
we got
darker
you covered on
camo.
camo. Like, no matter
yeah,
what environment
we
you
all
go
have
to,
just camos.
Yeah, like no matter what environment you go to,
I might have to.
That's a
get
cool
one.
one, right,
you're
Pat?
covered. Yeah. Is that like an alpine kind of, or like a multi? Is it just multi?
It looks like just woodland to me.
It's kind of hard to see in these
It's
light.
not
Like
quite M81. It's a look because this is like.
here's another
supposed to
camo.
be
I
tan.
don't know if you like this one, but there's another one.
Yeah, I do.
There's a
Is
few.
that like multicam tropic?
I don't know. It's called
There's-
Viper. They call it Viper, but
There's 2. Yeah. Oh yeah.
because it's patented and yeah, I could see you wearing a Hawaiian though.
Yeah, I mean that kind of got a little bit cliche when the whole Bug Boy thing was going on.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's cool.
Okay.
But
April would probably dig it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would definitely get it. But
Just gonna read War Fighting by the U.S. Marine Corps.
so yeah,
Yeah.
speaking of the books,
we-
what's up with the books, B?
So
Tell us
man,
about the books.
if
Brandon
you
has a
made-
credit card.
Okay, yeah. Basically, yeah. If you made a store, or like if you made a list of all the stores that like guys think are cool, no matter if they're like you write a you have a guy write a list when he's 12 years old of like his what kind of stores are cool to you, right? And you have him write one when he's like 50, and you have one write when he's like 80. I think there's a lot of overlap. Gun stores, top of that list, right? Hardware store, maybe, right?
That's a good one.
Military surplus store,
Always been a fan.
super cool,
Always
right?
been a fan. Yep.
Genesee County. Have we ever? I mean, I've lived there for 30 years. I can't think of a store that had military surplus gear
in Genesee County.
that I can think of. And like there used to be a place, a lot of our longtime our viewers who have been on the earth for a while might remember a place called Tent City in Rochester. That closed up in the 90s, early 90s, I want to say.
Right.
There was a place called Iron Mike's out in Canandaigua. That was kind of like the last place we had. He's gone. He's gone now. There's a few places in Buffalo. One that someone had thrown out in Discord. That place is gone. I looked them up, permanently closed now. So it's hard. It's hard to have just an Army surplus store, I think. That's a hard market to just be that, right?
But
As part of a gun shop,
Yes.
I think
It makes
works.
sense.
Right.
Yeah,
It
works.
just makes
So,
sense.
I bought a bunch of genuine Army surplus stuff. None of this is from Rothko, Chinese, like new production. This is like genuine. It's pre-broken in. You know, one of the worst parts about buying new kit is it's so stiff and it's so like you got to take forever to like break it in, right?
Well,
This
and you look like
at
a-
how yeah, exactly. You look like
if you've
Your
never
first day,
trained in your gear
right?
and it's all clean,
Yeah.
and
You know,
I-
this
Now you
stuff-
just look cool on Instagram.
this stuff, right? Yeah, like instantly you're cool. This stuff is like pre-worn. It's nice and pliable.
you
nice
can
and floppy.
pay for coolness.
And I think the best part is, right, in my opinion, this stuff, like if you look these things up, like this is
an NSN.
this is like USMC made by Proper. Yeah, like it's got a QR code on it. You should scan that. See
Oh,
what that does
snap.
for you. See
It'll
what-
just
see what-
pull
see what that
you
does
up
for you.
to the
But this
store.
kind of like if you were to buy an admin pouch like that, what would you spend?
Dude, you'd be surprised what those pouches go for because it's probably
30?
that's probably $40.
30, 40 bucks?
That's probably 40
$5
bucks.
$5.
Right.
$5 here. That's gonna be our goal. I don't know.
Disappointing.
Oh.
So that's the thing I told you about. That's what's gonna
Well,
happen
oh,
to
you know
ours.
why though? It's probably because
The war's over.
Well,
The campaign's over. The war's over.
the campaign has been archived.
Sorry.
No, it's because it's Molly gear. I think they're probably they probably
sure.
phased out all their Molly gear. At this
You
point.
are, but like some guy in the field is like
What's
hoping he can
this?
get like tech support on this or whatever. And it's like but that is my goal. I'm sure we will get things that are more expensive than $5. Maybe things that are less expensive. There's pouches in one of these that are pretty roached. Those might go for like $2. Oh, here, Pat, why don't you start pulling out?
What
oh, yeah, go ahead.
what I really loved is that my canteen actually still had water in it.
There you go.
Oh,
It was
this is for
like
an
Free
ACOG.
water.
It like glowed in the dark.
How much does this bottle of water cost?
Right?
I got free water.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Totally worth it.
So-
This is the pouch that comes with an ACOG
If we got
for the.
Does
the
it really?
Marine- Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. This is a double single bag pouch.
frag
There you
pouch.
go.
Frag pouch. Pretty cool.
For my frag grenades.
We gotta get a better light on this.
What are these for, Pat? We got these and we don't understand. It's padded, so it feels like it's some kind of optic. It has little like battery pouches.
It's likely for a thermal weapon sight.
Oh, that's cool.
There's
It's
several
likely
of those.
for-
$5.
like an
$5
ANTVS
you over there.
31 or
$5
something.
Do you know what else you can buy with $5? 5 cans of Arizona.
Oof. Can you?
Yeah.
Source? Can you cite a source? for that?
A&G.
Oh, really?
A&G.
Where's that?
Right next door.
Right? Yeah, right at the road.
Buffalo Road.
Like
yeah.
like you're telling me that locally there's a mom and pop one location grocery store, not a chain,
yeah.
like one spot.
Yeah.
That's cool.
At least that I know of.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all I have.
I do
pretty
love
cool.
A&G.
Oh,
I
yeah.
drove
A&G's
by there
great.
the other day with
Their
April, and I was
subs
like,
are
you know,
amazing.
Yeah.
that's exactly, yeah.
And like they're like pre-made. You know, you want like some macaroni salad or whatever
Yeah.
for dinner. Oh, their stuff is
Great.
so good. Over
Very
there.
good stuff.
This is my favorite.
That was actually my
pouch
mom's
in
first
history
job.
Right here.
Grenade pouch. It's a 40 mil grenade pouch. We've got that's for an embedder.
Radio
Yes,
pouch.
it
Yep.
is.
This is for a frag
Flashbang,
grenade.
yeah, frag.
M67. Well, yeah, you would know. Sorry. Another double single. And I think this is a hydration.
That is a
carrier,
hydration.
right?
Yeah.
And then these are
Yeah,
dump.
it's for a bladder.
We got the ammo in this dump pouch, right? $5 or less.
This is like
that's gonna
half
be
of
our.
a rifleman's kit right here.
I think somewhere in that bin is a Grenadier's kit,
Nice.
which also has like you get like 6 grenade pouches. You get like all this kind of stuff. So yeah, the firing pin. I don't know how we're gonna display it all 100% yet. We might just put it out in big bins like it is, and like the cheap movie bin at the store. You know, you just kind of dig through and pull out what you want. But I would like to increase our military surplus assortment. I think it's a, you know, the little kid in me is, you know, I want to buy it all, right? I love everything whenever
Right.
I see the military surplus stuff.
Absolutely.
And I think it's just, again, an underserved market in our area. We don't really have a store that services that kind of stuff anymore. I also got, the guys who are picking on me, I won a pallet of these books. It's Warfighting by the U.S. Marine Corps. And it's not exactly like how to do a war or like...
How to fight war. Step 1.
Well,
Point weapons.
it's definitely like a strategic level book. It's not like
it's an interesting piece of military
like a
history.
tactical
It's a
level
fun,
book.
it's a fun little thing. We're probably going to sell them for like $2 a piece in the store.
It's definitely
right?
interesting. And my favorite part is
Militaria,
look at the inside the front
The very
jacket there,
first.
Ty. Look at the very first page. That's the most important part to me.
Has been edited to ensure gender neutrality.
See, that's to me.
Very important.
I want to
So,
make sure.
It's new. That's actually kind of cool. In my opinion, that is what's kind of cool. And like on the boxes, we'll post a picture. Like these were sent to like Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton or whatever. Like
Right.
there's like, these were legit. They're not like reprints or whatever. If you go on Amazon, these are like $8,
Right.
$7.99. So we're selling for $2. And I don't know. I was thinking about putting them up on our website actually for free. You just pay the shipping. Like pay me like $4 for shipping or whatever it's going to be at the post office. Like for me to drive over there.
Right.
And we'll throw these in the mail for you. So
Love it.
don't be surprised if when you buy a gun from us over the next 5 years,
Decade.
however long it takes,
Just end up with a
we might
random.
have 4,000 copies of this book.
You have
So,
kids like, hey,
yeah,
take
that,
2.
for like that palette. That's all that book.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
Okay. Cool. I love
Like Ty said,
it. Capitalism.
I get a credit card and then I do things like this, and then they get that credit card taken away from me. They go, bad bread, bonk. They say no.
I get it.
No, I'm just
man.
kidding. What else we got? Do we have any comments? Do we have any people saying hi?
Concerns.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Oh,
A lot of
sure.
people are.
My dad's saying,
Typing.
what the fuck? And
I'll drink to that. Social.
what,
Social.
has anybody dropped guesses to how much ammo's in here? Don't
Yeah,
forget. And I would like to clarify, you're not going to win all the ammo, but you're going to win something.
You did say.
It could
Yeah,
be
you
that.
did say something.
Yeah. You'll win something.
That is to be sure.
There is a sponsor question, which was cool.
Let's do it.
Question from a sponsor?
No, a question about our sponsor.
Ooh.
Mike R, because now that we're on Spotify, I don't want to be like blasting your name out forever.
Yeah.
Pat, can you read that question?
Sure. That's an excellent question. I would say. I'm sorry. I should have read it out loud.
I was like, did he say it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was
He's
just. I
speaking
just
with you
read it.
telepathy.
I didn't say it.
You
out-
read that
sorry.
Marine Corps book for too long. Now he like, you tell
All right.
exactly what you told him to read the question. He read the question.
So with that, no, he did specify out loud too. That's dumb. So everybody, take a second to laugh at me, and now we'll read the question. Armed preservation ammo can liners. Should we do loose ammo or should we keep them in their boxes? I am not comfortable answering that question. Like, I'm gonna take a stab at it and say I would go loose. And the
That's
reason
what I
would
do.
go loose is because cardboard, I feel like, is gonna retain more moisture than what I would want to put
Absolutely.
into the
Absolutely.
right.
I recommend that to people in general. Like, the worst way to store it is in the original box.
Right.
If it comes in cardboard,
Yeah.
that's the worst way to store it. That's when you bring us ammo, oh, Uncle So-and-so bought this 30 years ago, stockpiling it away. Like, but
It's
it's
in
ruined
that
now
styrofoam,
because
it's all
like it's
frickin',
all corrupted moisture. So yeah, we don't want to answer for API like they might.
Yeah,
have a
I mean, if you
different
guys are watching,
but I'm
maybe
willing to bet that
pop
it would
in there,
be
but-
if those are the choices, out of the ammo. It's not going to hurt it being in the cardboard,
Right.
but it's definitely not better to be
yeah.
in the cardboard.
No, that's a fact. Also, Mike, hi. I saw Mike. I love Mike. He's awesome.
Mike's a good guy.
Yeah, great dude.
Keep talking. Keep going.
Okay, you don't have any
Well,
more stuff for? I
Not
was-
right now. I'm trying to message Josiah real quick.
He's
Okay.
right there.
No worries. So Brando, you got some
like-
fancy stuff going on in your head. You have a lot of cranium accessories. You have like.
This is getting actually very heavy. I'm going to take this off. Thank you for bringing that up. So yeah, no big deal. TFP is now authorized EOTech dealers.
Oh, that's not a big deal.
Not really, but no, it kind of is a big deal. We worked with our good friend Bill Stapinski, and yeah, we are authorized dealers, so we can get anything right from EOTech, so there's no concern, obviously, of legitimacy. Not that there ever is with us, but sometimes, you go on Facebook, you go to some groups and stuff, and You know, you never know.
There's so many optics groups
you
where
never
guys
know.
are scamming.
It sucks. It really
it's
does.
crazy.
And if especially something like this, like I've never owned a PVS 14 before, so like,
Right.
how do I know what's real and what's fake and what's good and what's not?
Right.
With EOTech, obviously you know you're buying the best of the very best, and yeah, we have a PVS 14. They call this their mono. They have a dual tube
Tubes, yeah.
version, right? But this is what the military calls the. Let's see if we can get it on the screen there. The PVS 14, and yeah, I'm not sure what map is, but I want to say MSRP is 5,500 on these. So they're definitely not cheap, but we will be having some demo days coming up here soon.
Is this one white phosphorus?
It is, yeah. Yep. So, amazing specs. I think one of the coolest things is, I actually cannot show this to you, so you may be familiar with something called ITAR. I don't remember what that stands for. I don't know.
International Trade...
Treaty and Arms Restrictions or something like that.
Restrictions,
Basically, stuff that's like cool, right? In the U.S., guns, certain optics, anything that's like
Anything's
cool.
infrared or whatever.
Yeah,
night
military
vision,
stuff.
Night vision stuff in general is pretty...
Certain, maybe even cameras and stuff though. Certain
Some.
electronics.
Even PlayStation, like you
Really?
can't- yeah. I think you can't like ship them internationally or something like
There
that.
has to
There's
be a
rules on
different
that.
version or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, certain things are ITAR controlled, and one of them, of course, being night vision. The U.S. wants certain things to stay in the country, and like
Right.
if they know it's going to get out, but at least they want to somewhat control it, right? At least for the trade of commerce. So the item itself is ITAR controlled, but so is this data sheet. So when you make a night vision device, you test it, right? And there are certain specifications here, like FOM, F-O-M, and signal to noise ratio.
Stop. You can't
I can't give you the data
Dude,
points on these.
what are you doing?
Zones, as far as spots, like is there a spot over here, spot over there? There's certain allowable tolerances, right, when they make these things. And that data is actually ITAR controlled as well. Like we can't post it. You'll see guys sometimes post stuff and it'll be heavily redacted, and they'll be like, you know, here's the data sheet, especially if you're trying to sell something, like because it's serialized. Like this unit puts out these specs,
Right.
and I can't like necessarily show you those specs, but you know, if I know the guys in the U.S., I can maybe tell them like, yeah, FOM is this, you know, these numbers fall here. That is a huge world that we are still learning. There's a lot to learn about it. Obviously, just from the technical standpoint of, again, like the specifications and the, you know, white phosphorus versus different options and
Right.
whatever. And then there's the user end of it, which obviously you're more familiar with.
That my information is way out of date though. Like I was thinking the other day about how long it's been since I was actually like in the military.
Yeah.
Dude, I got out in 2014. Like I left
Sure.
the the Guard was the last
Yeah.
thing that I was doing. So
And there's a lot, I mean, even guys that do this every day, it's a whole topic in and of itself. Like with anything, you can go down the rabbit hole. And Ty and I have griped about this. You know, you buy the EOTech, you get this awesome case, right? You get some stuff with it. You get a little, like a J-arm, basically, with it. But you still need a helmet, basically, right? Or you're going to get like the Skull Crusher, like, mount,
yeah,
which
that thing
I don't
sucks.
like those. I mean, they're cool because you can throw them in your pocket, but I don't know. I don't enjoy them, right?
No.
The helmet I like for two reasons. One, it's just a better mounting interface. It holds onto your head better, I think. And then two, I don't have a lot of time with this, so I'm kind of clumsy with it. When you're wearing it, you lose some depth perception and stuff.
Yep.
So especially you go out in the woods, you're going to whack yourself on stuff. So I like having a bump helmet to protect my dumb head.
well, also like with the helmet too, you get the added advantage of like you have a vampire light
Sure.
here. So if
Right.
I want to turn on some IR light,
Right.
so I can get a little bit more.
Sure.
Right.
I've got
so
like
you have
my,
the ability.
you know, I
you
got
have your
this
strobe thing.
on here, right?
Yeah, you have your ear pro connected right onto
Right.
there.
And this,
so
I love these strobes.
plus more batteries, right?
This, yeah, or I have like a little, all sorts of goodies in here.
Right.
The strobe I think is neat. Obviously, it's invisible mode now, so you can see like how we can see it. But you can switch it over in here. You switch it over, and then it's infrared. So now only your guys that are wearing night vision are seeing you, you know, blinking out in the field there. But yeah, so you know, you get your night vision, you get your helmet, then you need like your Wilcox or your other mount to actually put it down, you know, like where it's got to be. So there's so much that goes into, you know, it's so much more than just the optic. It is a lot. EOTech does have a financing company believe it or not, that they work with that writes these.
Why do you say
So-
things like this?
You can very soon come down and we could look at,
We could see what it's
financing one
going to
of
take
these.
to get you
Yeah.
into one of these bad
and
boys.
we've talked too, just because, I don't know, I feel like the people that buy these, I like the idea of people having these. I think it's really cool.
It's a superpower.
We will do. Yeah, it is. It's literally. It's one of the only superpowers. It's kind of the only one that I know of that you can easily buy, relatively cheaply. Right. I'd like to do like a long-term layaway type of thing where, normally our layaway is 60 days, 90 days. Maybe we'll do like 6-month layaways or year-long layaways. And yeah, you come in, you put down whatever you got to put down per month. And once a majority of it obviously
Once
is
you hit
paid
a
off.
threshold,
But
yeah,
you hit
yeah.
a certain threshold, then it'll be yours, and obviously we have bigger and badder toys to come
dork
get you.
around with it,
Yeah.
yeah.
But we're gonna do some training events with them. We're gonna try to build up our stock of them, so we could maybe do some rentals, even just like come out and bring all your own stuff and pay $100 and you can LARP around out back with Pat.
Do you
we're gonna
have,
some fun
do you
with
have
it.
a rifle mount for this yet?
I don't, but I think what'll be fun is they have thermals.
Yeah.
So they also have EOTech makes thermal optics, and those are all clip onto the gun.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun. But no, we could get them out obviously
yeah.
for this. That'd be fun.
Yeah, no, those are
That would
super
be fun.
cool.
I'd probably
with-
be more comfortable like letting someone play around with that too.
if it was mounted
like-
on a gun.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of what I was thinking.
This, I
It
mean,
would
obviously
be
you can go on a
easier.
woods walk or whatever with it, or look at the stars. Like it's
It
fun.
would also be kind of fun that anybody that buys one of those, we take them on a underground
That'd be fun.
training walk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
That'd be
Yeah.
a great spot.
we'll get
for
you
it, too.
adjusted to darkness,
Mm-hmm.
nothing but IR.
Right, because that's a whole other ball game. Like you go outside now, I think it's is it a waning or a waxing gibbous? I can't remember, but like there's the moon is in a certain phase right now, right, where the moon's out.
There is a
Like,
phase of the
there
moon,
is,
yes.
right. It's not
Yeah.
it's not like a new moon where there's not one.
Yeah, I didn't check the illum on my way in. I don't know.
In one of the night vision groups, a guy makes those like calendars that are small, and you see like all the whole year in like a little sticker format.
Right.
There's a guy that makes that for like the phases of the moon, so you can track like we're not gonna go LARP this weekend because it's a full moon, so that's
Right.
dumb. Like everyone has night vision.
Everyone will
this
be
weekend.
see-
Like, we're gonna
able
go
to see it.
here where it's completely dark. Like, but yeah, I'll neither confirm nor deny. But Tyler and I have gone down certain places where you use these and there is no natural light to magnify, which is what that does. So you have to use IR light.
yeah.
That's a
So
whole
scary,
nother-
so
yeah,
fun.
like it's
No
a-
white light, bro. That was such a fun time.
Yeah, no white light at all. That's very fun, and that's going away. So we have to try to get down there as much as we can, like while we still can.
It's been a while. Too
Yeah,
long.
so EOTech dealers, so we can get their holographic weapon sights, we can get their scopes like the Voodoo and any of their other amazing products, their magnifiers. We're really working to become a showcase for those products because, obviously we sell O-Lights, right? We sell Surefire, we sell Hollow Sun, we're going to sell EOTech. We're going to sell everywhere, there's a market for it. It's not for everybody. I mean,
Right.
they're not cheap, but there's obviously there's people that buy $20,000 guns that ship them here. So you know,
I had a guy in here asking me about thermal capabilities and night vision stuff the other day, and I got the sense from talking to him that he wanted to go into like somewhere on the lower end of the price spectrum to get his, he was looking more on like the ATN side of things or whatever.
Sure.
And not that there's anything wrong with that if that's kind of where your price point is, but I was kind of trying to push him in a different direction on
Sure.
that, just because like
Sure.
I have used some of the ATN stuff and I found it to be like unimpressive.
Especially, it's not like those are 500. Those are still
They're still-
1,200
Yeah.
or let's say 1,800. I want to say like,
Anywhere
still-
from like 8 to 15, I want to say.
yeah.
I did
so
forget about the Sightmark one. I haven't really played around.
It
too
is
much with
such.
that
We
one.
really should. We should get one of those in.
We have one.
Once we get a few of these, like the night vision or the thermal ones.
We have the scope.
Okay.
We have the
yeah.
Sightmark scope. Yeah.
It's such a difference, I guess, and it's it is obviously it's money. It's you get what you pay for, but I don't know if you could save up 1,800 to get like a thermal ATN or whatever.
Just
like,
triple it.
Just wait. Yeah, just keep saving. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Trust me. The wait is worth it, Tyler.
kind of delves into the next question that we had by our own Alec Felmy.
What?
What up, Alex?
He asked about whether digital night vision or thermal is better. And all this conversation kind of reminds me of Psionic, the digital night vision. I didn't get a chance to I got to hold them and feel them at SHOT Show because they were there. And I wanted to set up an appointment to have them kind of come out and work with the guys to teach us on their product because their version of that would, I think it's like 13. And it's all digital.
Sure.
The only thing I've heard about them is the previous generations. There's a slight lag in the digital.
frame rate is not
It's getting there.
So yeah,
as good, right? Because the resolution is really
like-
good, but the frame rate
It's
is not.
cool, but it's still a digital camera. Whereas like an image intensifier tube is basically black magic.
yeah,
It's
100%.
basically instant.
Right. Right.
It's
Yes.
cool.
No, because the digital thing, it can't. The digital like night vision, it can't see as fast as your eye can see.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, it's so fascinating. Like, if you think about what they can do with digital like cameras and things like that, but they can't. They're not really good at like edge detection and seeing things in
Yeah.
depth and like.
The cool thing is they
all
do.
that
It's
kind of
full
stuff.
color.
Right.
That's another cool thing. But
They do work. I think those
It's better
will,
than nothing.
will have their place on a mounted like when you mount it on the rifle. If you're not walking with it, less of an issue.
It'd be like
Kind
an
of s-
observation kind of
Right, stationary spot. They'll have their place, and
Yeah.
I mean, all technology will eventually,
But like the helmet mounted ones, I don't see those
That'll be
as being
tough.
like super practical right now.
once like quantum computers are in like your cell phone, then it'll be. But then we'll have something else.
By then we'll all be hooked up to the machine.
Superman, like
and
X-ray.
whatever,
Yeah,
like-
you're right.
I just have GPT-4 explain what's in front of me.
There you go.
How's that going?
The cool thing though is the new. It's not even new technology. It's old now because we can get it. The computer attachment that fits on
The
the
Cody
that
overlays-
outlines everything.
overlays the thermal.
That's so cool. What do they have now? If they're letting us get that,
Right. Yeah.
That's
when
so scary.
When that video like leaked, that the U.S. military that was obviously like a planned thing. Like they wanted that video to come out there. Yeah. What if that's pick your number? If that's 5th generation, like they're on like 8 or 9. If they're willing to release that, then they're several steps beyond.
Yeah, no, and that was super. That's super impressive.
What I think is neat is our lasers and our night vision. I'm going to say it incorrectly, mostly out of ignorance, but when you have night vision, right, you use an IR laser, or you can passively aim
Right.
through the optic. But a lot of times we use an IR laser to laze a target or
Designate stuff,
whatever,
right.
right? Which is cool unless the bad guy has night
IR
vision as
too,
well,
right.
because then he can see everything that you're doing and he can see all your stuff.
Sure.
So some of the current stuff, my understanding is they can almost tune it almost like you tune a radio, and it can be encrypted, so to speak, so that if you don't have the right, if you're
If you have the right
stuff's not on the right
encryption key or
frequency,
whatever,
you can't see our laser. It's still in the infrared spectrum, just like how we're on the spectrum somewhere. But you just can't see it. It's little slices of the spectrum.
Kind of makes sense because like if your night vision is in a certain part of infrared, then you like enhanced a different part of the spectrum that your lasers are in. Mm-hmm. I don't.
Let's
claim
just say
to
there's a
be
lot
smart.
of innovation that's been done locally that like so much stuff happens behind the scenes that obviously, like you said, we have no idea. And so some of that kind of stuff has happened super locally, and I just think that's super neat.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it is. This is actually a pretty cool area. to
yeah,
live,
yeah.
In a way.
That's why we're
Let's
a
just
It
say-
target.
sucks, but it's
If a guy comes in wearing stuff like this and he shoots next to you, like you pay attention.
Yeah.
And like you strike up a conversation. You know,
talk
and-
to him.
Yeah. That's
then
just
you'd
fun.
be like, "What's up?"
yeah, like what are you doing?
All right, Ty.
What do we got?
Yeah, I know we got some interactions from the peeps.
We've got lots of interactions. All of the interactions actually.
Love it.
Brett asks a question and he
Do you want me to read it out?
prefaces
Loud? Try it again.
that he doesn't want us to laugh at us. We would never laugh at you.
This
Not,
is a
not
safe
in a
space.
serious way.
This is as Brandon said. This is a safe space.
make
We'll
fun.
laugh at you like like we're your buddies. Like we're
Yeah.
gonna rag on you. a
Not
little
to make
bit.
fun.
And we're gonna laugh at
What
you
does- what does
after the
Brett
stream.
have?
Yeah.
What does Brett
But he asked, "Is there a high point?" He said high point. No, I'm kidding. Is there a high point 10 millimeter carbine with a 17.5-inch barrel and a pistol grip that is New York Safe compliant? The answer is no, not technically, because it has a pistol grip and a detachable magazine. But if you put the fin on it, so you can't get your thumb around that pistol grip, it is cucked for New York and totally fine.
And that still has a pistol grip, like technically, right? Because you're not removing the pistol grip.
Yeah.
It's just that you can. And depending on which wrap you get for your grip, or who made it, or how handy you are, or like how able you are to customize, you might have one even with a thumb shelf, so you could obtain what we would refer to as a false grip, right? Where you could actually put your thumb on the same side of the pistol grip as the rest of or the palm of the strong hand, not the rest of the strong hand, but now your fingers will wrap around, and your thumb can't go around the back side, but that's okay because your thumb can rest on a shelf on the strong side. Downside, obviously, is with the high point carbine, the safety would be awkward to manipulate.
Got it. There's only one mic for you guys. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Just like us.
This is my level's not good.
It's cool.
Yeah, I was just watching it and like it was low.
I mumble sometimes, guys.
No, your diction was fine.
What?
But
Was that?
You said dick. Anyway.
so that's the answer to that. Sorry, you've gotta kind of cuck it for New York State.
Yeah, it does kind of suck.
Doesn't kind of, it really sucks.
I mean,
It's horrible.
I get it. I don't want to play their stupid fucking games either, but it's really like putting a shark fin grip really isn't that big of an inhibition to your ability to use the gun. It's a big concession to make, and I don't agree with it, and I think it's lame. But do with that what you will.
All I know is I feel safer because of the Safe Act.
Correct.
Amen.
Eric asks, and this is a question we could have an entire stream, 2, maybe even 3 streams on.
Lord.
Any advice on my first EDC when he's all set to get his pistol permit? Boom. That's a big question.
Okay. Who wants to start?
I'll start. And this is something before you can even get your pistol permit. Meds. Learn how to stop the bleed. Learn how to take care of a gunshot wound. Learn how to apply tourniquets, how to pack wounds, all of that stuff. Because
That's solid advice.
yes, you're going to be carrying a gun, so you have something that will plug holes into people, and you can get a hole plugged into you. But if you stroll up on a car accident or some kind of freakish workshop accident and somebody slices an arm or something, you need to know how to fix that. So that is going to be my first set of advice to anybody looking to start off with EDC, is just learn how to stop bleeding.
Yeah, I have contemplated using a tourniquet many more times in my life than I've contemplated using a gun, like when I'm just out and about. Right? Like I've been in situations where I've been like, does that require a tourniquet? No, it doesn't. But the question came up.
Was he looking for like a gun that?
Yeah, he wants to know a gun, but
He just said EDC. He just said EDC. So
Well, I
everyday
mean-
carry.
Sure.
You're
not
but
wrong.
when I'm all set, I think that
Yeah.
I think the implication there is that he wants some advice on a pistol. So I love the advice that Ty gave. As far as advice on a handgun goes, I will get into that a tiny bit, and then Brando, whatever you got. But first of all, you should go to a gun store, preferably come to this gun store,
Definitely this one.
and yeah, obviously.
Because we're the best.
Spend some time getting some different guns in your hands and asking questions, even if you don't actually end up renting the guns and firing them. If you come here, you do have the ability to rent well in excess of 100 handguns at this point, which is awesome because you can try out different guns and you can figure out what sort of sights you're most comfortable with or whatever, or what's going to fit your use case, right? You can talk to the guys and you can ask some questions. Because they're going to have some questions of their own when they come in and you say, hey, I just got my pistol permit. Congratulations. Welcome to the club, right? Now, like...
It's usually literally what we tell people.
Yeah.
100%.
It's usually
Congrats.
literally,
Like, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club. Like, you're in. Awesome. Now, what are you looking to do with your new handgun, right? Generally, it's concealed carry. I would say that's like 70%-ish.
It's a good
of
number.
the people that come in, right?
Yeah, that's a good number.
So we'll say, all right, based on that, you should probably start looking at something in 9mm is like a general guideline as far as a minimum stopping or a minimum carrying caliber.
Are you just using Fudlore?
No, I was thinking of something else. I'm sorry. Minimum caliber to carry. But I did hear something recently that I wanted to bring up, and that's why I got a little distracted on that one. It's better to get a hit with a 380 than to miss with a 45.
Absolutely.
People will ask me about 22 for self-defense, and I will always start that conversation off. I don't want to get hit with a 22 or anything. I'm just going to start, like, I never want to get hit with a 22. But if I have to stop a threat, I'm definitely not going to go, like, 22 is not going to be my first choice.
I'm not looking for a 22 right necessarily.
I'm probably preaching to the choir. My gripe with 22 is just reliability.
Exactly, that too.
The ammunition is so
finicky.
unreliable.
Yeah, it's...
And
the guns, extracting, feeding, it's just...
The number of loads that would even be, like, on the table... There's just like few.
Like Ty said, though, for some reason, like if your choices are a Browning buckmark or a sharpened stick, like I'm going with
buckmark.
Yeah,
and have the stick for backup.
Yeah, keep the stick close.
That stick might come up later.
I guess I don't want to interrupt your take.
No, that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty much what I was gonna say. Is like just come and get the feel for some different stuff.
Right.
Figure out. Based on your use case, what some recommendations are. Get like a short list. Look at those. Ask questions about different sites, whether it's optics or whether it's fiber optics or whether it's tritium or whether it's a 3-dot setup or something a little bit more simplified. And then triggers, right? Double action, single action, Glock versus Smith & Wesson M&P series versus the SIGs, right? They all have their pros and cons. So I would say that for your first gun, it's important, I think, to get it right on the first gun because you're going to buy more guns at some point in time, but the first one is going to be where you kind of start to develop habits.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And whatever you start to develop for habits, hopefully it's something that feels natural to you. Mm-hmm. And hopefully it's something that you're going to be able to carry with you into whatever else you shoot. So
my answer is sort of it's going to sound like I'm countering what Pat just said, but
good.
not to negate what you just said.
No,
but I tell people don't stress about that. For some people do think that you're only going to be able to choose one gun, which I can understand. Like when and for some people that is true, budget reasons or for whatever security reasons, they only have the room to lock up one gun or whatever. They only want to be legally and morally responsible for one firearm. Like that's a lot, it is a lot for someone when they're new. We take it for granted. We kind of grew up with it, But I generally tell people don't stress. And again, I'm biased, but when you come to our place, we're not going to let you make a bad choice. Like we don't stock bad guns, right? Like
we're very honest.
We don't carry
we're very
Taurus
honest.
Or SCCYs.
We're not Sky dealers.
Right. Burst. I mean, sometimes you'll see those guns come through because they're used or whatever. Like, they do come through,
I'll tell people, like, I will never tell you what to do personally because I just don't believe in that. But if you're going a route that I professionally wouldn't recommend or I wouldn't sell to my mom, my sister, my wife, like, I'll be very honest with you. Hey, this gun's okay. I understand the drive, the price point's there. But what's your life worth? Really think about that.
Yeah.
We are pretty honest about that stuff too.
Oh, absolutely.
If you ask to see a gun that's not very good, I'll hand it to you, but I'll also hand it to you with a caveat hey, I wouldn't carry this gun. I'm not saying don't carry this gun, but
and there's a difference too, the couple that comes in and they're worried about their house getting broken into in the South Wedge versus Alan who comes in and he wants his 40th
right, he's just got another.
No big deal. But I guess when you come to a place like ours, and there's a lot of gun shops like that, if you're watching this from somewhere else, but if you come to a place like ours, if you kind of do your homework and you find a good shop that treats you right, you're not going to make a wrong choice. You might be able to make a better choice, like the CR920 might be a better choice for you than, say, a Glock 19. But you're not, like, the Glock 19
but that's
going to
be a choice that you made generally.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody's going to try to push you.
And those are all, like, objective. Like, I like this trigger versus that. Like, it doesn't mean that trigger's better or the other one's worse. Like,
right.
You will generally not make a wrong choice. So you kind of, what I generally tell people is you kind of just have to make the choice and then you either live with it and you keep training, or you kind of do the same thing. You keep training, and you like, wow, like, yeah, this Glock 19, like, I don't care for the trigger.
Right.
And now you have enough knowledge to say why.
Right.
Because in the beginning, you don't know
Yeah.
what you don't know, and you can't articulate. There's an overwhelming amount of choices.
It's like buying a
And
car
we've
at
done that.
16.
We've put out 15 guns in front of people, and they're like, you can see it in their face. They're like, Jesus Christ, like, what do I pick? And it's like, you can pick any of them. Like, you're not going to go wrong.
That's kind of one of the reasons I do that. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of the nice things about being a small shop. I just want to start, like, we don't make commission. Like, that's just one thing we don't do. So I'm never trying to sell you something based on price. But that's one of the things I love to do. I love overwhelming people almost. I put 10 handguns out. Put these in your hand. Feel them. I am your in-person shopping filter. If you don't like this because of this, you don't like that because of that, I'll start swapping things out and switching them out. I think it's very important to... That is one of the benefits of having so many rentals is you don't need a pistol permit to hold pistols in New York State.
Right.
Only fire them. So you should be doing that even before you get your pistol permit. Come down, hold some guns, see what they feel like, ask questions. I want you to do that. That's why we're here. We're here to seriously find the best option for you to defend you and yours.
We really do like to show people stuff at the gun counter too. It's always like, I shouldn't say always, but in general, it is like kind of fun in a way to walk somebody through that initial journey of trying to figure some of these things out.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I always have enjoyed it. So
What else we got? We got anything? We
Uh,
got other
spent a
questions?
lot
a lot
on
of
that
a few people dropping what they carry.
Nice.
Help this. I don't want to assume, but help this person figure out good guns to look up. You know, you can always look up on the internet, and everybody's gonna have an opinion. As Pat was saying earlier, it's up to you to decide ultimately for yourself. But help this person. You know, give them some like paths to look on the internet for. So drop what you carry. Drop your EDC every day. Personally, I carry a Shadow Systems MR920L every day. Pat, what are you rocking?
MR920L.
MR920L, okay.
Nice. Glock 43.
MR920L.
43.
Glock 43, yeah. I got to get on the full-size handgun train.
Yeah, where do you
working
carry,
on
Pat? Are you appendix?
Yeah, I always carry appendix. I can take my stuff out for you guys. Oh yeah. Yeah, take it out. So, Shadow Systems MR920L, Hollow Sun 507C. I usually use Barnes Tac XPD,
That's the stuff.
Solid Copper Hollow Points, M3 Tactical Solutions, Kydex holster. Got a nice little wedge on there. My gun does have a TLR1 on it. And my optic lens is clean, despite the lack of a weekly reminder.
I just cleaned mine today.
Sorry.
I cleaned mine today, and I didn't even send a reminder. That is one thing we used to do in the Discord. Is every week I'd be like, "Yo, clean your optic," because it's important. And we're all
Well, first
friends.
of
We look out
all-
for each other.
First of all, if you're not dry firing every single day, you're as wrong as
Don't say
that
it.
thing
You
that
can't-
I say. that the Marine Corps would hate. That thing that I'm not allowed to say anymore.
I'm sorry. The world is changing, Pat.
Reasons.
We gotta get
The
that
world
dump-
is
Gotta
changing.
get that dump button.
That would be awesome because then I could say it
Right.
and they could read my lips, but nobody would hear it.
Some
yeah.
people would know.
They know.
They
what
know, I guess they do,
know
yeah.
the thing that I say that's
They
wrong.
do.
So anywho, yeah, that's what I carry. And that's I would advocate for something in the Glock 19 size
Compact. technically.
area if you're able to carry.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say, I don't want to push back on what you said or anything, and I definitely don't want
Hey.
to spend a million years on this specific topic.
I've got nothing
but
else, so.
sights, right? One of the biggest things that messes people up with their handgun is not having the sights that work with whatever they have going on as far as vision goes, right? So
Sure.
if you wear corrective lenses. I used to wear corrective lenses, but I had the corrective surgery, so now I don't wear that shit anymore. But I'm getting to the age where I'm going to start needing reading glasses soon, right?
Yeah.
I'm what is referred to as an aged eye shooter. Actually, anybody that's over 35 years of age, just for your information, you are also in the aged eye shooter club, right? So what
You're
that means
old.
is, yeah, well, our corneas are definitely old, right? So they're starting to degrade. We have macular degeneration starting to set in.
Yeah.
And what that means is we're going to start to lose either our ability to focus on something maybe close, right? We're going to become farsighted.
Yeah.
Or we're going to become nearsighted. We're going to start to need reading glasses, stuff like that. So what happens is, as shooters, it becomes more important, obviously, or we become more inclined, I guess, to benefit from optical gun sights, right? Optical gun
sense.
sights,
Yeah.
they're really easy to see in low light conditions. They're really easy to use in terms of maintaining a target focus when you're shooting.
Sure.
Which helps in use of force decisions, right? Because having a little tiny 2 minute of angle dot on my Holosun covers up and obscures much less of my target than, let's say, a set of iron sights on
Yeah.
my Glock, right?
Yeah.
Also, shooting at distance is much easier with an optical gun sight. So, for age dive shooters, people who have to shoot anything at distance or who think that might become something they want to pursue or try, definitely helps with dry fire practice. Every time that somebody wants to come in and, I end up on the conversation of dry fire, it usually segues at some point into the use of optics. Because, and here, you guys can kind of try on your own here and let me know what you think. So speaking of, I have a pistol here with an optic.
Spin move.
Go ahead and take that monkey out.
Yeah, you can't shoot an earplug.
We'll talk about that in a second. So, but if you were to, here, actually, let's talk about the earplug now, B. So I'll tell you what that earplug is going to do. So when I take and I put this earplug on top of this empty magazine and I close my action, my gun is now out of battery, which means I have a dead trigger. So when I hand B this gun, he's going to be able to manipulate the trigger from front to rear in a complete, press of the trigger. So you can simulate pressing the trigger pretty much as fast as you want and just see what the dot tells you
Okay.
as far as like what's happening to the dot as the trigger is moving. Right, so in terms of dry fire, how much would that help you in terms of just being able to diagnose what happens to the grip? Because now you can cue not only on what you're feeling in your hands and what happens, what you're feeling when you move the trigger, but also what is the sight kind of
When the
telling
gun
you.
goes off, you kind of overwhelming, obviously, so it's hard to see that little
Well, the
bit
dot
of-
starts to move right away, right? So the dot is already going to be in motion as soon as the gun goes off. So I'm not going to be able to see until I've practiced many, many times.
Sure.
I'm not going to be able to see where the sight is when the gun goes off. Actually, most people don't even know that that's what they're looking for. Ty, do you have anything else?
No. As far as the topic we're talking about right now, no.
Okay.
But come back to me when we're...
Okay, because I want to... Do you care if I spend a minute on this?
Dive, my friend.
Awesome. Okay. So,
Don't put some, water down?
when we do our dry
Just
fire
making sure.
practice... No, thanks, Ty. I think a lot of us spend a lot of time doing dry fire practice, which is awesome, but I don't necessarily think that we understand what's supposed to be, happening when we're doing our dry fire.
Sure.
Right? So I used to spend a lot of time doing dry fire, and for example, I would set my timer. I'll give you guys a for instance. I would set my timer, and I would have whatever the fastest draw time that I want to get is. I would just set my timer right to that, and I would immediately try and just go, how fast can I get the gun from here to here and move the trigger, and not even pay attention necessarily to what I'm seeing. It was all about how
Chasing that
fast.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
What does the timer say? Because that's what made me. That was what
The score you were
was
chasing,
making me feel kind of good. Right.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't translate into live fire necessarily. Right. Until we learn how to apply it. So what I had to do was I had to start focusing a little bit more on the process and a little bit more on the whole thing. So when I draw my gun, what am I actually doing? Draw, drive, sights, press. Right.
Yeah.
And I have to go through all of those individual steps. Draw the gun, join the hands, drive the gun, see the sights, and then press the trigger. But in dry fire, for a long time, I didn't make sure that the trigger press was connected to an actual sight picture.
Sure.
I would just subconsciously see the gun out in front of me, see the sight, or see the target.
Sure.
I can see the gun and I can see the target.
Because there's no
There's no
With dry fire,
there's no consequence,
there's no hit or
right?
miss,
There's
right?
no feedback, right?
Everyone's a hit.
It's always
Yeah,
a hit.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel so good about how fast I can go, right? So I had to stay more focused on the process of like, when does my hand connect to the gun? When does the gun get level? And when are my hands kind of meeting up, right? So I started to kind of get more focused on the process, draw, drive, sights, press, making sure that the trigger press was connected to a sight picture so that I was consciously making the decision to press the trigger. Then reset the trigger and press it again, right? So seeing 2 sight pictures for every trigger press and then immediately having the reset trigger and ready to press again if the sights tell me what I want. Right?
Yeah.
But then you have to stay connected to all of those kind of different things. So as you're doing that process, that's one thing, but then it's like, what does the sight tell me when I move the trigger?
Right.
Because I'm going to be able to see that in dry fire much more clearly than I'll be able to see it live.
When you actually shoot.
Right, initially, right? Now, where that translates into live fire practice, though, is when you go to the range and you start trying to prove that stuff out. Now, when you break the shot, you're actually seeing where the sight was when the shot broke, and when the sight comes back, because you're training your vision too. Right? So you're training yourself to like see more stuff.
It's pretty cool.
And that's the other thing too in dry fire, like you want to set up multiple targets so that when you're looking at the one target and you're looking at your target but through your sights, you have to have your vision open enough so that you can see everything in front of you, so that your eye is already seeing the next target, so that when you go to move you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your eye is already seeing it, now you just got to move your focal point to that specific target.
What you're saying is the real dry fire is the friends we made along the way. So
What I'm saying is when you're doing your dry fire, you have to get in the weeds. You have to pay attention to the little shit that make.
I think a lot of us just get lost on dry fire is practicing how to pull the trigger. Which that's
how
not
to draw
wrong.
the gun as fast as I can, or how to
Yeah.
reload. So the other thing that I've been doing recently in dry practice is I've been doing a drill called the bar hop drill.
Okay.
So the bar hop drill is on the beep, you draw the gun, you shoot 2 at one target. Usually it's all on one target. You shoot 2 on one target, and then you step over a bar.
Yeah.
Either forward and back or left and right.
Yeah.
You step over the bar and then you shoot again. And the idea is I'm shooting basically the entire time so that I'm not separating what happens when I'm shooting from what happens when I'm moving.
Okay.
And so you incorporate first just drawing the gun, shooting 2, and then moving, and then trying to put it all together.
Yeah.
And then you throw a reload in there.
So
now you're reloading as you move, and then when you get back, right? So you're having to
like
like
the gun version
regrip
of
the gun.
this.
So you're just
Yeah.
keep increasing the levels of complexity. Now, when I started doing that, I set a par time of 5 seconds.
Okay.
And at 5 seconds, I was able to do it really consistently, but then I started to be really specific about what am I seeing, what are my hands doing, where am I losing time here? Why do I keep dropping magazines on the fucking floor? Like, what's going on?
Sure.
So eventually I realized that it's faster for me to really look at the magazine, like actually look and see the magazine well, right? And so eventually I went from that 5 second par time down to like a 3.5 second par time. And I was able to do it really consistently, and the movement and the shooting were happening together.
Yeah.
But now I got to prove it in dry fire, or in live fire rather.
Sure.
So now I got to go and I got to test and see if that's actually going to work, right? But we're going to increase the level of complexity. Now, if you guys want to get way more in the weeds on that shit, you can do it with me this coming Sunday at the pistol mechanics class that I'm going to be doing here at the fire.
Doing that?
We're going to be doing some stuff like that.
Sure.
We might not get that complex with it,
Yeah.
but we're going to talk about dry fire, and we're going to talk about like the hows and whys of what we're training. For those of you guys who are wondering what kind of stuff we're going to be working on in the pistol mechanics class, it's all of the mechanical skills related to shooting your handgun, right? Drawing the gun, reloading the gun, clearing malfunctions,
changing the oil. Wait.
100%.
Wrong kind of mechanic.
Wrong kind of mechanics. People get that mixed up all the time.
A comment that came up from our good friend Jim. Somebody was talking about weight of handguns and stuff. Kind of switching topics.
No, absolutely.
And he said that just get a quality belt, get a good belt, and you can carry almost anything. And I firmly stand behind that.
yeah, absolutely.
I carry a Cobra buckle, like a VTAC belt, every day. It's a couple seconds to put on, but best belt I've ever had.
Yeah, I wear a Lead Devil Tactical that also has a Cobra buckle, and it is like I have to wear something that's purpose built for carrying a gun.
Yeah.
Because I carry a bigger gun with a holster and a light and an optic,
Yep.
and I carry a spare mag, plus a knife, and so becomes
toxic.
a lot of shit.
He's such a toxic.
So
You filthy male.
Masculinity over here.
I know.
So, let me look at my question list real quick.
Do we have people still commenting about how many bullets they think are in here?
No, that's died.
Well, guess. If you haven't guessed, guess.
If you haven't guessed, then how can you win the bullets?
You'll win something.
I'm gonna go with my out of order questions,
Do it.
because this one just fits on the topic.
Yeah.
How many bullets are in here?
Yes. Yeah. No. Sorry, I clicked off of it. Donna says, "I don't carry every day.
Okay.
I've owned pistols for about 5 years.
Yep.
I'm just not very comfortable with it, especially when sitting in my car. Any suggestions how to overcome that?"
Yeah, I would say
That's a
that
great
dry
question.
fire, Donna, is a really good way to just get your confidence level to where you want it to be, right? Because it's a free opportunity for you to interact with your gun. It's a free opportunity for you to practice those manipulations, and especially to do it in a 360-degree environment, right, where you're not on the range. So when you're at the house, obviously there is no down range. Right?
Sure.
So you have to always be keeping your gun pointed in the safest possible direction. Still has to be cleared out and all that good stuff. Still have to get the live ammunition separate. Still have to do the trigger finger discipline thing unless and until your gun is oriented in a direction where you accept the consequence of whatever happens when you press the trigger, and you have to know the status of the gun, obviously. But if those conditions are all met, then dry fire in your home is very safe and very effective way to train on all of these different manipulations. I would say that's one way. Another way is to get to the range, or maybe compete at some point in time. I mean, all of those things, like...
Sorry, I didn't mean to downplay your answer. Did she mean like physically comfortable? She's
Like,
not-
yeah, like I don't think she likes to put a gun in a holster, put it on her person, and carry it.
Yeah, I mean,
think-
comfortable, I guess.
I was gonna say, I know, like Pat has a saying that again, I sometimes go against. You have a saying that carrying a gun should be comforting, not necessarily comfortable.
I actually stole that from Clint Smith just for clarity
Sure,
on that.
sure.
But yes, I do like that saying, and yes.
That there is some truth to that. We are taking this responsibility for our safety, and it might not be 100% comfortable as compared to before you carried a firearm. But I will say, for a lot of people, if it's not comfortable, they're not gonna do it.
Well, it could
Yeah.
be a belt issue too. Like
Sure,
we're talking about
sure.
belts, and that could be part of the.
I see a lot of people make this, I don't want to say mistake, but they go down this road of like, okay, well, this is the gun I bought, and this is the holster I bought, and this is how I have to do it. And yeah, it sucks, it's money, but you might want to try a different holster.
Right.
You might want to try a different carrying position. All of our bodies are different. What works for you might not work for me, not work for Ty, work for Josiah.
Pants sizing. If you're carrying inside the waistband, you may have to change your pants.
I will say a vehicle is probably the top of the list. Survey says like where's the most uncomfortable place to carry.
Seems to be the hardest for most people
That
to do.
is
yeah.
difficult. A lot of people will unholster, take everything out when they're and I don't know, like you probably you might not unholster driving, say from like your house to here, but if you're gonna drive to the Adirondacks, you probably would. But I don't know.
I will sometimes, but I try not to, only because like not because I think that it's super important not to, but like if I get out of the car to go take a
That can
leak,
be
I may
difficult.
forget.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as
Or then,
I
like,
may forget to put my gun on.
You're going to wherever, and okay, you took the gun out, you stashed it wherever, and now you're where you want to be, and you want to take your firearm with you. How do you
How do you get it back on to you? Yeah, there's
a
whole
lot
bunch of different
objections, but
I like to streamline
I would
things.
be afraid. I wouldn't be afraid to try new things. Maybe modify your gear slightly. You know, if it's uncomfortable because it's rubbing in some way, maybe get some like suede or material of some type. Like, don't be afraid to modify some of your gear to better fit your needs. Again, I believe the person who asked was a woman. There are companies that make holsters specifically for women that might solve your issue.
And that's one of the things, like when Deborah asked that question, right? I'd be interested to see exactly what she's working with as far as a holster goes, because that it could simply be an issue of like, yeah, and I guess I went on one definition of comfortable.
Sure, it wasn't wrong.
Cool, because that's
yeah,
what a lot of
that's just what I heard.
that's
in
one of the things
different
a lot of
way,
people
yeah.
say is like, I'm not comfortable with this gun because to them it's like a venomous snake that's just like waiting to bite somebody.
Yep.
Right.
I can understand that. Sorry, Ty. I felt that same. I was raised with firearms purely from a range perspective, I would say. Purely from a, it stays locked in the safe, and you take it out, and you go to the range, and you shoot it, and you enjoy it. So there are, like, rules that are never broken.
Right.
And, like, carrying it loaded, obviously. Like, it's loaded when I'm ready to shoot.
I'm ready
like,
to
okay,
use
now
it.
we'll
Now
load
it's loaded, and then it's not.
Having it aimed at something that I don't want to shoot. Like, okay, well, almost wherever you're going to carry on your body, it's, unless you stand perfectly still at a weird angle, like it's going to cross.
The discharges, it's going to
You're breaking
do
that
something
rule,
bad.
so it's just like you're inherently, especially like, I mean, I grew up with firearms in the house from when I was like the time of like 10, I would say. So from 10 till 21, so for like a decade, those were the rules. And then when I turned, we just didn't have handguns in my house. And then when I turned 21, it was like this whole new world of guns. So I can empathize with that, how people feel somewhat uncomfortable.
Well,
with
some
them.
people have
And
never
your
heard of
answer
dry
is
fire.
spot on. Just spend more time with it. That's
Right.
how you will be more comfortable. Yeah.
To me, yeah, I mean, like, just, being exposed to it's like an immersion thing. And that's one of the reasons why, like, I like people to come to, like, a longer class sometimes.
Sure.
Is because, like, I want you to have your gun on you for the whole day. I want you to know what that is and what that means, and I want you to have it on your person, and I want it to be loaded sometimes, and I want you to have to be responsible for unloading it, and all of that stuff.
I remember the first couple times we wore our armor, like for a full Saturday or whatever, because like I've larped around quite a bit with mine. Half hour here, couple hours there, maybe if we're really messing around. But yeah, you wear that stuff for like a full
8 hours.
9 hour
Ugh.
day.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wow, holy cow! Like we should probably
That's
give our
eye-opening,
veterans.
for
We
sure.
should probably give our veterans better health care in VA. Like we should probably replace all of their knees. Like okay, I get it.
Why are their backs off?
Is it my turn?
Go ahead, Ty. Jesus Christ. No, sorry.
You already stole everything
Wait,
I was
hold
going
on.
to say. Go on. You have their attention. What will you do with it?
All my links. I'm trying. Spotify. I'm trying to think of like 3D printing.
Spotify 3D printing on my links, ChatGPT. To go back to the carrying question, I was very fortunate that I got this job my senior year of high school, and again, to reinforce what Brandon was saying, I learned that you always keep a gun pointed in a safe direction, nothing loaded until you're ready, safety's always on. And when this isn't an admission, but I definitely sometimes wore a gun behind the counter, working. And I just got comfortable that I had I was very fortunate to be put in the position where I can get comfortable with a firearm before I was able to carry a firearm every day out in the public sphere. But she alluded to safeties and the guns going off, like accidental discharges and stuff. And today's technology, it's not that common. I understand people want the manual on-off safety, and it's not my place to tell you to go with that or not go with or without that. If that's what makes you feel comfortable going with a manual safety, that physical, yes, on safe, if that gets you carrying to protect your life, go with that if that makes you feel good. But on the same token, that is a mechanical device, and I would argue that doesn't make you any more safe than having a Glock that has no physical on-off safety. In my learning, basically, you tell the gun to go off. The same with the brakes of your car. You don't want to slam on the brakes of your car. Don't touch the brakes. You don't want the gun to go off. Don't touch the trigger. And if you have a safe, reliable holster, and nothing, no pens, no lipsticks, anything isn't going to go into that trigger and pull it, I'm almost every time you're gonna be fine. I've carried a gun since 2017 now. Wow, it's a long time. And knock on wood, I have all my blood in me from that incident.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're
I've had
things,
incidences,
not so much.
but I've never been shot.
From your own, yeah.
So the other thing that I would say, as far as like the manual safety thing, I don't know that I read specifically what sort of gun we're discussing is in her specific case, but I would say that, you know, if you were to spend some time talking to one of the guys behind the gun counter, they might be able to illustrate for you some of the safeties that are actually in your gun that you might not actually be aware of. Because most of our modern firearms, they do have multiple safety mechanisms built into them. And it's not necessarily something that you can look at the exterior of the frame and readily see, right?
It's not necessarily a switch. Like
It's not
on
a
or
feel-good
off.
button
Right.
necessarily, right? I always...
I agree with Tyler. Like he said, if the option is no gun or a gun with a safety, okay, well, gun with a safety is better than not gun.
Especially if you're training with it, the manual safety is going to become very natural for you to work. So I wouldn't.
To me, though, it is a lot like people that say don't carry with one in the chamber. It's just one more thing, you know, like you already have to overcome so many things. Like if something is happening, we get to the point, I guess just to even decide that I'm going to draw my gun.
Right.
So many things have to happen from that moment. I don't want to have one. There's no reason to add another thing, especially, you know, we're not talking about old like Colt single action armies that will, if you fall and it hits the hammer, it'll go off. You know, like any modern firearm has drop safeties, out of battery safeties, trigger safeties.
Modern, like,
you know,
well-built firearm. Because do I trust SCCY or Burst of Thunders? Not really, personally. I wouldn't trust that to not just... I've had a Burst of Thunder go off in my hands without me telling it to. But like Glock, SIGs, although there's the SIG lawsuit, so we won't talk about that.
Outside of catastrophic failures
yes.
associated with the gun, right? So yeah.
But your feelings are not invalid. You
Definitely
have a gun strapped to you. Things can go very, very wrong. So I don't want you to think that we're sitting up here telling you that you're silly for even being concerned.
No, and I would love to have this conversation, frankly, in like person, in like a lesson type of format, where we could really get into the.
you know, not that you want to get to the point of comfort where you're negligent.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it does get to
Respect it.
You know, being comfortable. I've told this story before. I grew up with firearms, so I don't have that level of intimidation with them. I work with them all the time, so I'm intimately familiar with
Spend
them.
40 hours a week with them.
By contrast, a table saw. It is a simple machine,
Yeah.
probably as simple as, or just as simple as a firearm. It's got a switch, and it turns on, and there's one really dangerous part. And if you don't do the thing, like if you don't want to have your fingers cut off, don't have them touch the blade.
Right.
Like, it's pretty easy. That thing terrifies me, though.
Yep.
And I've used it a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I've made a lot of things with a table saw.
That's a
I
good
own one,
analogy. I like that.
I use it. They're very useful. But it's every time, because I don't use it. Like, I use a table saw maybe 3 times a year.
Right.
You know, and I might use it a lot in 1 week. I might, you know, rip 40 sheets of plywood. But
there's so
then I
many.
won't use it again. So
Right.
it's like, that thing, I have a lot of respect for it. Like, before I use it, I kind of take that moment of like, okay, like, I got him. Let's look at him. Like,
feel you.
okay,
I totally feel you.
I need to get one of those saw stop blades so that.
But I think those
Have you
still
seen
mess you
those?
up too. Like,
You'll get a cut, but I don't want to go out on a limb and say
social.
but I think
I'm out of beer.
I
actually,
think
so.
I don't know if anyone's ever lost. I don't know if they would publish this fact, but you get injured, you get a little cut. I don't think you lose the limb. Like you'll save it. It's pretty impressive.
I'll even dumb that down a little bit. I'm terrified of ladders. Like just climbing
Sure.
up on the ladder up there.
Scary.
I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
I'm so accident prone. I'm the reason your company has to have insurance.
Yes, it was like,
All right. So we'll go over to. Thank you for that question. I really appreciate you, and
Yep.
I just want to one time say that your feelings are valid for being uneasy about carrying a
It's
gun.
a deadly force instrument, and I'm glad that you have the respect for it to know that.
I was gonna say you shouldn't get. I mean, you might not have that same feeling, Pat, or I mean, any of us, but we have that same respect. I would say.
You have
You
to.
have to.
You
You
have
You
to.
know? Yeah.
I respect
As-
tigers. You know,
As soon as you lose the respect for the gun, that's when somebody's gonna get hurt. Right?
like catastrophically hurt. Like,
Nope. Nobody's going to be injured or killed as long as we're doing the 4 things, right? So,
Andrew asks, do we have any recommendations for Cerakoting in the area? Stay tuned.
We do know BSH out in the Macedon area. Great guy, Jose.
Yeah.
Does fantastic work. Buddies with our friends over at All Star. But yeah, it's something that
the guys at Escarpment too, don't forget.
they do.
Yeah.
The guys over in Escarpment do it, and they do a great job as well. And it's something that, like a lot of things, we've always wanted to get into it. But unless you have the right person, you know, it's not. I'm not an artist. I don't have those abilities.
I have ditched that long ago. I am not a creator. I am a destroyer.
Yes.
I have long accepted
Yes,
that.
yes, absolutely. So it was not something that like we really spearheaded, but one of the guys, should like I don't want to put him out and
Dapper
his
Ghost
thunder,
Custom.
but yeah, you know Brian, one of the guys here, really got good at stippling.
He's very good.
And it's kind of a natural progression to offer other types of customization. And he is very much an artist and does great work on the stippling front. And I'm very excited to see he is going to spend a lot of time practicing, obviously, on a lot of our stuff. So don't be surprised if a lot of the rentals have cool Cerakote patterns on them or helmets or war fighting by United States Marine Corps. What the whole, just everything back here.
Just this
everything's
mic is
Cerakoted.
just
yeah,
all-
everything. We're just back here Cerakoted. But
Sounds painful. Like
we, it's not like 100% locked down yet, but we're most likely he's going to be going to like Cerakoting school pretty soon. It used to be like a 2-year wait to go there. So I reached out to them and I was like, hey, like, let's get on the list. We'll see you in 2025 or whatever. And they're like, no, like, you want to come by in August? And it was like, that's actually like too soon. Can we come by? Like, I wasn't ready for you guys. Embarrassing. But so yeah, at some point this year, he should be going to Cerakoting school out west. And yeah, just another one of the services that'll be here at the firing pin. And you know, from what I've heard, those guys, both at like All Star and at Escarpment, like they're swamped, and it, you know, not that I don't want to put them down, that it takes them a while, but they're busy. So
They
I
got a
think-
lot of
I think the
gunsmithing
demand
work.
is there, you
Yeah.
know.
We're busy
and,
too.
Right, and Brian does excellent work, so I'm very
Gonna say,
excited to see.
Brian's busy. I know
Mm-hmm.
he's got a lot of stipple jobs going.
The thing that's annoying is I'm gonna have to like let him go from here because that's gonna take off, and
He's
you
gonna,
know,
yeah, that's
he's
gonna
been
be
with us
his
for a
whole deal.
while. Yeah, that's gonna be.
That's all. I'm so glad that things.
But it's
have-
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's awesome.
absolutely,
It's awesome.
absolutely.
I love to see people doing what they like to do instead of what they have to do.
Absolutely.
how about slide milling? Oof.
So that's another thing that
Oof.
we have the people. One of them's in this room that knows how to do it, and it's no one behind the camera. But they,
Not me.
My hesitation with that is like if we're gonna do stuff, I like to do it really well, and obviously if you get like a true craftsman can do amazing things with like Harbor Freight equipment.
Could.
But I just don't like the idea of like, you know, it's one thing if you're a dude in his garage and you do amazing stuff with Harbor Freight equipment. I don't want to like put it out there that yeah, come get your slide milled for $80 or whatever, and we're back here even like something on like a Grizzly, which is they're decent, but it's like, you know, we're
You're not gonna be able to do volume on those, and you're.
oh well sure, and yeah, it's just not that those are bad machines. And I'm not a machinist. I really have no room to talk, but you know, we're not at that point where we're gonna buy like a $50,000 like a Bridgeport or something like what you deserve, right? What the people deserve. But I'm just hesitant on buying like the cheap one. So
Yeah.
we're stuck in this limbo stage. A lot of people
Buy more
have told
guns.
us to buy like the Ghost Gunner, and it's you know, I'm kind of in that same camp. Like if I'm a dude who, you know, like say a dude like you who just like own a lot of guns. I have a lot of friends that own a lot of guns, and it's just like it's cool.
I can do this as
I
like
could
a little side
have some
thing
work
here
for
and
it,
there,
yeah. But like I'm
whatever.
not gonna hang my hat and be like proud of that work. I'll say.
Right.
So eventually it will happen, but that'll be part of probably like a bigger effort, I'll say. But I do want to do it, and we'll see. So, yeah, all that kind of stuff, machine like threading barrels.
It would be cool to
drilling
get
and
into.
tapping,
It would be cool to
yeah.
get into more gunsmithing stuff. I have the education for it, and we could probably do more stuff than what we do if we had the equipment and
Right.
if we had the
It's a chicken and
time
egg type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Interesting conversation.
What are we giving away?
Winner's choice of this bag full of kind of not one of everything, but there's a bag here with a lot of goodies of all of the military surplus, or 20 rounds of 5.56. Obviously, you got to be 18 or older to have the ammo, and we'd have to get some. I don't know if I give the ammo away. Do I have to record their information? They didn't buy it. It's an interesting question, but obviously with New York State's law, I'm probably gonna have to collect your info.
Probably.
Where you work, where you live.
New York
your,
sucks.
Phone number and stuff like that. So, 20 rounds or this bag of goodies, which is probably worth like $20. Actually, probably a little bit more if I'm selling these at $5 each. There's like 6 things in here.
There's a lot of pouches in there.
Yeah, some cool stuff. So, who won? Did you pick a winner?
Yeah.
Someone guessed correctly?
Somebody got the closest we had.
How do you know? I didn't tell you.
Yeah, you did. You told me 382 at the beginning. Joe C. I'll try to remember to reach out to you on Facebook tomorrow. I forgot the last guy. He had to message me. Sorry. He guessed 379.
That's close.
382.
Yeah, closest without going over. And, okay, we can pull these out right now. I'm not going to, but there is 382 in there. Cam and I, we were like waiting for the live stream to start, and I was like, fucking Cam was supposed to get this thing ready for me, and he never did. And Cam's out there like, 301, 302, 303, and he's like counting these things, and I go out there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh, God damn it, we gotta count these. So I'm sitting there, and I'm counting them, and then I'm like, we're both really dumb. Because who's calling, like, who would know? I could say there's 268 in there. You don't know. You're not going to look.
No
like,
idea.
There's no one to call us on
You
that.
can just write down
But
a random number on the thing.
Scout's honor, there are 382.
He is an Eagle Scout, so you know that's true.
That's like a legally.
He can't
Yeah.
even. Yeah, he can't lie.
I'll take all of his Totem chips.
You know, I don't think you can do that.
Bet.
What else we got? We got anything else we should talk about? Freedom Weekend,
Ugh.
June 10th and 11th.
Oh shit.
We got a hell of a Freedom Weekend plan, guys.
If you're not there,
It's gonna be so.
you're
cool.
How many
super
people are
square.
still watching us? Do we have some people still?
Like 30.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty
We
cool.
dropped down from 40.
Yeah, once we give the thing away, I know that happens.
Yeah,
but
people hate us.
Freedom Weekend, like,
Also been here for
it's-
90 minutes.
It's gonna be nuts. Freedom Weekend is gonna be absolutely insane this year. We're gonna have like all the normal stuff that you know and you love. There's gonna be like
Sorry, guys.
we're gonna be like mosh pitting at night. There's gonna be fireworks. There's gonna be
Literally mosh pitting at night.
literally like national gun rights groups, FPC, like boots on the ground, like they are coming to Freedom Weekend. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. Someone in Discord today asked about the latest in lawsuits, and that's something they're really gonna try to talk about. Tyler and I were working on a schedule for Freedom Weekend so that you'll know when things are happening because there's so much happening this
Gotta
year.
pack it all
that, yeah,
together.
we need to like, okay, you're gonna want to like come for this, go home, take a nap, like come back, check this part out.
You know what we should do?
Have a nap space. No. Put up a tent or whatever.
We should get for the skirmish. I'm going to be a sponsor over there.
Yeah.
I'm sponsoring one of the things. I should come and we should set up like a yoke.
Yeah.
And get like a sandbag.
That'd be cool.
And like depending on what division you're in,
Mm-hmm.
you can like choose. So the sandbag could weigh for ladies. We'll have
Sure.
you know, right? And then for
there's
the
no difference.
masters division, huh?
But there's no difference. Keep going.
And then we'll yeah,
Just
right.
stay by that. Yeah.
And then we'll have the elite division, which will have a very heavy sandbag.
Sure.
And we'll have like a contest for whoever can do like the most
I
sandbag
love it. Like up and over the
the
thing
thing,
or
and then you have to
something. Yeah,
jump
yeah.
over, and then you have to do burpees.
So this is brilliant because one of the things it's on the schedule already.
We'll give you like 5 minutes.
I didn't ask you ahead of time, but I put it on the schedule. We're hoping to have some type of tactical games like a demo. So that would be cool. You could do that like all day.
Hundy-P.
Have people come up and try. You know, hey, the best one was a guy got 20 of these, right? Like in 5 minutes
Dude,
or whatever.
I'll be
Yeah,
there
yeah.
smoking people's bags all day long.
Right. I think it'd be really cool to set up. We were actually talking about maybe even. I think it'd be funny. What I thought we would be, what we would do. We do it outside. We get some blanks, right? So you do a demo using 5.56 blanks, so that way we don't have to worry about hot range or any of that kind of stuff. But you can come out, you can do all the physical stuff, you can show us, and we'll set up some steel targets, and then we'll have like Cam downrange with a hammer for hits. You know what I mean? Like, like bang, 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 ting, ting, ting.
You better be fast.
Yeah. My split time is better than that, Cam.
Right.
Yeah,
we got to make sure it syncs up.
But yeah, we're gonna have a schedule posted this year so that you'll know when things are happening because there's so much happening. We literally have to publish like a schedule.
People will,
and it's filled. We are very fortunate. We've got a lot of things happening. We're gonna have, like I said, speeches from national gun rights groups, from lawyers, from local former college athletes like Dwayne Whitmer. We're gonna have a lot of stuff going down. It's gonna be a hell of a Freedom Weekend.
So Freedom Weekend is amazing. It's a great event. I'm very excited now because I actually have something to do, and I'm actually gonna be able to participate in a fun way and make you guys suffer a little bit.
Bars put back up.
Yeah, we should totally do that.
You just have those, you know what I mean, set up too. Like
that would actually be a good, because then we wouldn't even need a yoke. Well, you could just lower the pull-up bar,
sure.
right?
There
You know what I'm
it is.
saying?
Yeah.
We don't have to do anything.
An earth down competition.
Brilliant. So then, skirmish on the 25th of June, or Jesus, I'm sorry, 25th of March.
It's coming up.
That's next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday. That's gonna be at Escarpment Arms, 8 a.m. on 25 June. We don't have that many signups as of right now. I'm a little bit disappointed. I think some people are scared to get cold or something like that. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But first of all, the tagline for the tactical games is no off season, right? And we do happen to live in Western New York.
It's true.
Where
It's true.
I don't know if you guys
We
know,
have seasons.
but we have seasons. Some of them suck. Most of them suck, actually. So you should be out there, right? You should be out there getting kicked in the dick in March, just like you would be.
Unless
in
you don't have
June
one.
or what? Yeah, I mean, obviously. But come out on come out on the 25th. And for any of you guys that are like friends of the store, or I'll just say if you have my phone number and you want to come out for the skirmish, shoot me a text. We will make sure.
His phone number is 585.
That truck stop bathroom is gonna get.
Yeah.
So, guys,
the number is posted everywhere else.
You'll know. Yeah.
I made a crucial mistake.
What'd you do?
I think I'll have to be stoned to death.
You like just get right up in that mic, don't you?
It just feels so
Wants
nice.
to put his mouth on it.
I'm gonna have to be stoned to death, and if I were to be stoned to death, I really want this to be live streamed because I'm doing this for you guys. I feel like that would be like the honorable thing to do. I made a mistake.
Was it prostitution?
Did someone
No.
actually guess the right answer?
Yeah, somebody guessed the right answer.
Oh no,
Joe, I'm so sorry.
Oof.
You did not win. The issue
Who
is
won?
Facebook prevents me from scrolling back to see previous answers, and I don't know how I missed this one, and I'm sorry. Don't hate me. But Donna, the lady who asked us about the EDC,
Nice.
won.
Well, now you'll have all sorts of EDC pouches.
Confirmed by my grandmother who went back, so I trust
Nice.
I trust Gemma implicitly.
Granny fact
Yeah,
check.
Marianne would
Yeah.
never.
So, Donna, I would recommend then taking one of these pouches and EDCing in that. And then fanny packs are kind of coming back in. The kids wear them up here nowadays, like across their. What do you call that? Is it still a fanny pack?
We call that faucet failure.
No.
It's got
What
drip.
you know what I'm. Do you know what I'm
It's
talking
like
about?
a bandolier.
They do wear it like a bandolier.
Yeah.
Sean and Evan know what I'm talking about.
They do for sure, because they're cool.
Have you ever seen them out of the house with one of those? They don't do that.
No, they're not satchel
They would make fun of
kids.
those.
Would
Is
you-
that- Is it a satchel?
Yeah, they don't.
Is that
Would
what
you
call it?
would you mollywop your kid if they walked out of the house with
The
that?
other day, I was watching
kind of
something with April, and I was like, "That dude's carrying a
Pennsylvania
purse,"
word
and she
was
was
that?
like, "That's a satchel," and I was like, "That's a fucking purse. Like, stop. That is a purse. Stop it. It's a purse. Put that shit away."
Well, mollywopping? Is that some kind
Mollywop.
of northern Pennsylvania?
Dude, you know what a
slang?
mollywop is?
Never.
All right, bro. I'll show you later.
Jamie, pull that up.
It's like a really intense, just like one hit KO. Just
All right,
mollywop.
guys. I don't know if you know it's past my bedtime. I gotta go.
But my print isn't finished yet. I've got 20 more minutes on my print.
Do you really?
Probably.
20 more minutes on your. I don't know.
I'm 3D printing stuff, dude.
Yeah, we have a 3D printer now.
We've been having fun with a 3D printer.
We're gonna turn into a whole 3D printing lab.
So we're gonna keep these poor people just captive.
Yeah.
While you 3D
Let's do a
print
24-hour
The
stream
next
one
live
day.
Stream is just,
Can we do that? Can we do a 24-hour stream?
and it's just.
We're just trashed. Just,
Remember we got
Oh,
trapped in the internet.
leave us a comment. We're gonna close the stream out here, but leave us a comment and we'll read them in the morning. I think Cam suggested doing a like Jeopardy style stream where we get the employees to come out here and we ask them questions. We it would be fun to have like more of the staff on this stream.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we should make them come on sometimes.
I can.
Yeah.
I can.
You
force
could
them
do
to.
that, I would think.
yeah. We have a lot of other questions that we're going to have to ask later on about, like, maybe if we wanted to come up with a name for the stream, what should we call the stream?
Yeah.
Isn't it called the Firing Pin live stream?
That's what I like the Firing Pin Live, but
I don't know. I brought it up.
I don't sign the checks.
Like maybe we keep this, but it would be cool if we had just like I don't know, some type of show that was named
For Spotify.
You know, yeah, or like I don't know, when they're all
I'm
called
into
the live stream, or maybe like each episode is named. I guess we kind of do that, but I don't know.
I think if we had to come up with a name for each one, that could get weird because eventually they're just going to be named like I don't know.
Sure.
Pat
right.
dropped his keys on the floor or some shit. I
They
don't
could get weird.
Do we have any other interesting?
I don't usually believe in second place prizes. You don't get a participation trophy, but because I made the mistake for
I was going
Joe,
to say, I think just because you lied to Joe.
yeah, he's gonna get something.
Sure.
He's not gonna get a full kit, but I'll let him pick a thing or
Just
two
'cause
out.
You could pick one thing from this shelf.
Just
or
because you're
whatever.
over here
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
getting Joe all excited.
I'm gonna lose sleep probably tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday.
You really should.
Joe's a
You
good
should
dude.
feel bad about it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get out of here.
All right, guys,
We love you
stay
all.
beautiful. I love you guys.
Later,
Thank you
taters.
so much for watching.